Hey guys, it's Jerry from KeebsForAll here. I'm going to film a real quick tutorial about how to do the O-ring mod for the FB60 for a softer typing feel. For those of you who don't like the stiffness of a standard tray mounting setup. Right, so it's really simple. I already have it set up here, and you can see that typically for a tray mounted board, you'll have 6 mounting points. They're usually here, 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 and then 2 on this side as well, right? So for using the O-ring mod, you'll want to only screw in the screws here, 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 and here. So 4 of them, 2 on each side. And as you can see, if you screw in at just right at the right amount, you get pretty decent flex. Hopefully that's auto-focusing. You get pretty decent flex, and you can turn it around, and the assembly shouldn't fall out of the case, right? All right, so I'll show you how to do it. It's super straightforward and simple. I'm just gonna unscrew this. So I should be able to pop the assembly out now. Let's see. Perfect. All right. So I'm using one of the FB60 prototypes. This is the anodized silver one. It's a prototype case, and this color actually didn't make it into production based on all the interest checks we've had so far. People didn't seem to like this color that much, so we ended up not going with it. All right, so I have the foam in there as well, and the production foam will not look like this either. It will be a different color. So you can see the 6 different standoffs. Right now we've already changed the design, so this lower one near the spacebar has been completely removed already, and we have an ongoing IC right now that is checking what we do with this last remaining one. So it's either going to be removed completely, or it's going to be a screwable standoff. So you can choose to screw it on yourself and use it, or you can leave it empty there, and then you'll just have 4 posts on the side. So based on what the community decides, the production version will be potentially slightly different. All right, so as you can see, these are the standoffs. I'm gonna get the screws here. Hopefully you guys can see this. So I put 1 on each screw, right? So this is a little trick I like to use. So a lot of people, when they do the O-ring, they put them directly on the posts, right? Then they try to put the assembly on this way to screw on the screws. The problem with that is when you're screwing it on, you won't be able to see what's underneath the PCB in the assembly anymore, right? And so while you put the assembly on, very often the O-rings will shift from the posts, and one might fall off or something like that, and you'll have no idea. And then you're screwing it on, you're like, oh, this feels weird, or you can't really see. So for me, it's a lot easier. I'll typically put the screws in on either side, and I'll flip it around, holding the screw on with the screwdriver, and then I will manually plop in one of the O-rings here and put it around the screw. So this way, you basically mount these O-rings first before you put the assembly on. So you have the 4 screws, and you put 1 O-ring on each of the screws, right? So you can see there's 4 of them here. And then it's super simple. That's all you do. And you plop this assembly back on. Okay, perfect. All right, so I plopped the assembly back on, and now you just screw the screws back on. And how tight you screw it will largely depend on your preference for how much bounce there is, and also optimizing so that it's screwed on tight enough where if you flip your keyboard around, it's not going to fall off. Now, if you don't move your keyboard around all that much, you can keep it pretty loose and not worry about it falling out, right? Because if it's just sitting like this, I mean, what are the chances your assembly falls out while you're typing? Pretty much none. So that's what you can do to play around with this, and it will be up to your individual preference. So the way I have it here, That's pretty decent amount of flex. I can loosen it up a bit more. And you end up with a bit more, right? And that's it. That's all you have to do. All right, guys, thank you so much for all your support so far, and I hope this tutorial was helpful.